this first part. So this is a 3-part series, back-to-back weeks, same time, same place, same mat channel. Bit cheesy, but this is the first part of 3. So I'm really grateful that you joined in. It's going to be packed with micro lessons and tangible, actionable exercises for you to help upgrade your living from the end. So just type in, where are you coming from? Where are you watching? Where are you tuning in from right now? I'd like to get a bit of global action. So we got Georgia, Arizona. So where are you tuning in from? New York City. Hey, Libby or Libby, Lee, where are you tuning in from? Just type in if you can there. Washington State. Great to have you, Brenda. And again, if you can come up on screen, that'd be great. If not, no problem. Serbia soon and Montenegro right now. Soon in Montenegro. Fantastic. What a wonderful place in the world as well. All right, so let's get underway. First, let me ask you all, have you heard of Neville Goddard? Just type in a 1 if you've heard or read or had any interaction with Neville Goddard content. Just type in a number 1. Type in a number 2 if you have not heard or interacted with any of Neville Goddard's teachings or any of his books or anything like that. Just to get a gauge on where we're at. Very cool. Very cool. So lots of number 1s. Fantastic. Okay. Type in a number 3 if you've heard of Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks. Type in a number 3 if you've heard of Abraham or Esther Hicks relative to the law of attraction. And there's a sneaky method. There's a sneaky reason why I'm mentioning these 2 people, these 2 energies. Because what we're going to share, let's go straight there now. I'd like you to explore what you really do feel is possible for you, okay? What you really feel is possible for you. But before we get in, just type in a number 4 that you can see and hear me okay. I know you can because you're responding, but I just want to confirm before I do a share screen that you can see and hear me clearly. Nice one. Good. Interactivity. Awesome. Okay. So if you want to take notes first at the level of being, meaning how you feel. If you're getting ahas, you get little pin drops, penny drops, then feel free to type them in to affirm that to yourself. Sharing is also helpful. No share is a bad share, okay? Number 2, if you do want to take notes, try and do short bullet points, because I'd love you to experience this at an energetic level, and I'd love for you to take this information in at a being level first, because your being actually knows everything we're going to be talking about today, everything I'm going to be sharing. So over the next 45 minutes or so, I may move a little quicker than you're used to. Some of those members that are in the Inner Freedom Academy, so Janine and Dina and Andy, you'll know all too well that I like to do the deep dive. So we plunge fairly deeply. So we don't stay just bobbing on the surface for too long. We're going to go really deeply. So Maklik or Maklish, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but great to have you. And if you can come up on camera, that'd be great as well. All right, just type in where you're coming from, where you're watching this from. So let's tune in. I'm going to share a screen right now, and it's really the power of imagination. So imagination is the beginning of creation. And I really want you to own this, because you're here because you believe that at some level, or your entire level of being, that your imagination creates reality. And that's the underpinning principle of most of Neville's work. It's also the underpinning value of creation as well. Okay. So this is where everyone wants to begin. Okay. This is where everything begins. It's not with action. It's not with hustle, but it's with imagination. I really want you to take that on board. It's not hustle. It's not action. If you've just joined, welcome. So we're going to break it down, one of Neville's most powerful methods. Imagination creates reality. You're going to discover how to create a scene, living in the end scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. This is one question I do get a lot, which is why we're doing this 3-part series. I'm also going to show you how to feel as reality, to how to feel your preferred reality, whatever that is, as real without forcing emotion. And then we're going to go to how to begin living from the end. Okay, all cool with that? So the first section, the powerful scene. But before we go there, let's really talk about imagination as a state of awakening. So to imagine a state is to awaken it. Now, if you're new to this work in any way, you will be caught up very, very quickly with what I'm going to share. You are the power in your reality, which means if you use your imagination correctly, deliberately, intentionally, masterfully, you can create, engineer, cultivate, be the architect of your world and have the outside world reflect that back to you with greater ease, joy, and peace. And I mean that, absolutely mean that. You can take the pressure cooker, the lid off the pressure cooker, and let all the steam go because you're no longer trying and efforting. And if you have been trying and efforting in some areas of your life, then these sessions, these 3 sessions, this one in particular, will set you up to bring greater flow, greater clarity, but also greater certainty and confidence into your manifesting, if you don't want to call it that way. So officially, welcome to this. Okay, welcome. This is the foundation of manifestation. It is imagination. Most people get stuck, and I want you to really take this on board. Most people get stuck not because they don't want enough. It's because they don't know how to consciously imagine correctly. They don't know how to correctly imagine because you tend to be all over the place. Is it this? Is it that? You go too big, too small. You're creating too many frames of reference. It's really simple. So today we're going to solve the biggest, one of the biggest blocks people have using Neville's methods. Let's get clear. Feel it as real. Feel it as reality and live from the end. Feel it as real. Now, we could go a lot deeper into why we have a problem feeling sometimes, because sometimes what we imagine, should it come true, if it came true, there's part of us that may be a little bit scared. What would the ripple effect be? What would other people think? What changes would be created in my life that may separate me, distance me, bring judgment or ridicule or anything? So if you can relate to that, just type in yes. Anything that I share, type in bomb drop, whatever you want, or just you can use the emojis at the bottom of the screen there to let me know what you think. Okay. So feeling is the secret. It absolutely is the secret. Quite often we're afraid to feel, so imagination is one thing we can all imagine. Even those people that do have neurology that does not allow them or enable them to paint pictures in their mind, you can still feel after something. So we can all imagine to an extent, but how do we feel about what we imagine determines our reality. And this is very, very key. If you allow fear into your field of feeling in any capacity, you are going to sabotage through your humanness, through your fears, through the lens that you're observing what you want. You're going to sabotage that. You're going to keep it at bay. You're going to keep your drawbridges up. Dina and I, we spoke about that. We're going to keep the drawbridges up. So that means that the moat that we build around our castle, our kingdom, our queendom, ourself is going to be deep and it's going to be wide because I want to be absolutely sure that it's safe to imagine, because part of me, and I've heard this so many times, deep in conversations with thousands of people I've worked with over the last 30 years, the deepest fear is, what happens if it's true? What happens if it works? It opens up an enormous can of potential that is fearful for some people, a lot of people. So if you can relate to that, just type in a number 5, that if everything that I really wanted and imagined came true was my living reality, there's part of me that would be afraid of the ripple effect. There's part of me that fears that I would not be able to handle my own power. Okay. Second to that is once I have the power and I get the things I want through my own imaginal acts, my fear is that it will be taken from me somehow. Somehow I will lose it. If that's yours, type in a number 6. So that once I get the power and I get this is confirmation, this is what it feels like, I'm afraid, hang on, I've got to look over my shoulder metaphorically, energetically, vibrationally to protect what is mine, the golem, my precious, because it could easily be taken from me. Again, these control matrix that play deep within our subconscious. Okay. Great that you could join. Great that you could join. Okay, so we're going to discuss primarily the 4 challenges, these 4 challenges in this masterclass today. First, I don't know what scene to create. So you know what you want. I'm assuming you know what you want. But the question is, I don't know what scene to create. The second is if you're in any way connected to Neville's work, you'll know what SATs are, a state akin to sleep, which essentially is moving from alpha into theta, from beta down to alpha into theta brainwaves, which is nice, relaxed, receptive state. So the second thing is I find it hard to focus during SATs because my mind's everywhere. I'm an overcaffeinated squirrel and I'm trying to search for everything. And I'm still thinking about what I was thinking and trying to work out at my conscious level moments before, days before, hours before. So we're going to solve that. The third thing is I don't know if I'm feeling it fully. Okay, if you can relate to that, we're going to address it. Because feeling it fully, it comes again to those drawbridges. If you've got fear of any kind related to how you feel or how you would like to feel, then feeling it fully is a tripwire event that occurs in your subconscious that says, if I feel it fully, then I'm opening the door to more, and more feels scary. And for those people that are very head orientated, meaning you think a lot, you are here a lot, and you find it difficult to be here in the body, then you will also truncate or reduce your scenes. So you'll make them very stereotypically head-based. It's logical and linear. I can't get that out. Okay. So we're going to drop from the head into the body. And I can go into a whole 90 minutes of how to get into the body and why getting into the body is the operant power, is moving your consciousness through the instrument of the physical being, the physical body, and having the physical body as the instrument of consciousness express under instruction what you want it to feel, knowing that how you feel and the depth of that feeling sets up a vibrational trigger and standing wave for the quantum field to reproduce that in the 3rd dimension. Does that make sense? Just type in a yes if that makes sense. If you've got dribble coming out of your mouth at any time, don't worry, you'll get access to the replay. Okay? This is the thing. Your physical instrument is your divine creation, instrument of creation. So we've got to open it up. You're invited to open it up. And the 4th part here, if I can stop rabbiting on and talking so much, is I don't know what I want specifically. So really at the beginning, if you don't know what you want specifically because you're used to running in the field chasing 2 rabbits metaphorically, because I'll chase 2 rabbits so that I don't feel disappointment, because a part of me is connected to the dopamine fix of always chasing and running after something. But if I really focused on one, then part of my subconscious belief built and stored within my subconscious is ascribed or believes in that I won't get what I focus on if I reduce it to one. So I'll scatter my seed and I'll do more in the belief that more is better. Okay, type in a number 7 if you can relate to that. More things, better things, keeps me distracted, keeps me from what I really want. And ultimately, if I'm distracted enough, I get the perception of movement through time, space, and therefore I feel like I'm moving closer towards my goal. When in fact, when I sit in the quiet of my own being, or as I fall asleep at night, I'm in the same position I was yesterday. This is not working. I've got to try something different. Okay. Let's put a cap on that. All right. So let's dive straight in. Let's dive straight in. And I'm going to flick across here. So a lot of people ask me, I don't know what to visualize. How do I come up with the right scene? And here's the truth. The perfect scene is not about making a movie. It's not about making a movie. It's about one moment, a short, vivid, emotionally charged scene that would imply your desire was already fulfilled. Now, as an example, when you think about money, you think, I'm going to imagine counting money. Now, that works. I'm going to imagine finding a lover or an intimate partner. I'm going to imagine that. And you can go specific to the person, object, or thing. And you can tangibly interact through your five senses in your imagination with that event. You can do that. I've done that many times. And I'm going to show you proof very soon of just one way that I used it within the last 2 weeks. Okay. So think of it like a Polaroid snapshot, but you don't want to be third person. The Polaroid says, I'm looking at a photo and that's all I'm going to look at. The old mental programming is look at images, have a vision board, do all the things. And while you're looking at it, you're still looking third person as if you are looking at yourself in the scene. The key is you must be first person. Okay. You must be first person, which means what you see in front of you, just as I'm holding my hands up in front of me, my eyes are seeing my hands. I'm not seeing my chest. I'm not seeing the back of my head. I'm not seeing the chair I'm sitting on. I am seeing that which my eyes see. And that is what's giving me the feedback, and the sensation is triggered from what I see and where I place myself in that scene, inverted commas, reality. Does that make sense? Okay. So for example, if you want to be in a relationship, your scene might be them holding your hand and whispering. And I say holding your hand, but it could be holding you, holding your foot, holding a bum cheek, whatever it is, your cheeks. And I'm so happy we're together. So now we're bringing in the senses. We're bringing in the senses. So you can feel them first person. You must make it first person. And you can hear them first person. There are other methods and strategies we will cover over the next couple of weeks as well. But is this landing for you? Because if we go right back to the beginning or near the beginning of this masterclass, and I said, who here fears feeling fully? Lots of F's. Who here fears fully feeling what they want? And several of you said yes. So if you are putting your drawbridges up, then when you do your scene and you place yourself first person, it's going to feel all squiggly and scrambled and pixelated because you're not used to placing yourself first. Okay, there's lots of bomb drops in this masterclass. I hope you're taking notes vibrationally, energetically first. Place yourself first in every scene, in every desire. You come first. It's a selfing perspective. You may hear Abraham Hicks, Esther talking about be selfish. And it quite often brings up the connotation that it's bad. But it's selfing to be here in the world for you, because as you benefit, as you raise your vibration, as you explore and experience the greater part of you through the fulfillment of what you want and desire, then don't you think other people are going to be the beneficiaries of you in your highest example? Yes, I know the answer is yes. So another example here is if you want to win the lottery, your scene might be hearing your best friend on the phone scream, "No way, you actually won." So now we're hearing a third person, which is bringing in another method. So your first person holding the phone, holding the phone, and you can hear your best friend's voice audibly through your physical sensation of your ears, but through your imagination, you're conducting that scene. And you can hear them say those specific words. Now, we'll just stop there for a minute. Are these long-winded scenes? Just type in yes or no. Are these long-winded, overfabricated, complicated scenes? Just want to make a point of that. If you want to dream home, picture yourself walking barefoot across the kitchen floor and someone saying, wow, this place is incredible. Wow, this place is incredible. It's you might even be saying that to your partner, your spouse, your child, your friend, your parent, your family member, whatever it is. And you're feeling that. So remember, words spoken have power. But as you bring the words inside and you hear them through the faculty of your imagination, you are now producing a big wave of potential, a much bigger wave of potential, because you're exercising the spiritual body. And the spiritual body is being exercised, utilized as the ultimate gateway or instrument to produce effects in the third dimension. Okay. All right. So let's just do a quick little guided example here. So let's try this out right now. So everyone, close your eyes. And if you're watching the replay, close your eyes just for a moment. It's safe. You're safe. This is a great place to be right here. Ask yourself, if my desire were real right now, if it was real, what's one moment I'd be experiencing? My desire was real. It was fulfilled. I was on the other side of it right now. What's one moment I'd be experiencing? So keep it short, feel it loop backwards and forwards. What do you hear? What do you feel under your hands or feet? Who's there with you? Or are you on your own? Don't force anything. You're not creating the scene. Bomb drop, you're remembering it like it already happened. Okay. That's as simple and as powerful as it gets. Your role is to practice that, to become masterful in the use, inverted commas, underlined, bolded, capitalized, the proper use of your imagination, the proper use of your power. Okay. Everyone cool so far? All right, let's go to the second part here. So the second section answers that second question. If we go back up here, just to remind ourselves, I find it hard to focus during SATs. Okay, find it hard to focus. So let's reference Neville. So Neville taught that the best time to impress the subconscious mind, which is the long-term programmer, it's the feminine principle, it operates through feeling and sensation. So the best time to impress the subconscious is in SATs, state akin to sleep. Okay, the state akin to sleep. That means you're drowsy, you're drifting, your critical mind is relaxed, your analytical mind. So when we talk about moving from head to heart, we're moving from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind. We're moving from thinking to feeling, and we're bypassing the analytical mind, right here, which sometimes in personal development is called the terror barrier. Okay. So that means you're drowsy, but you're not trying to force visualizing. Just as I asked you just then, what would it feel like? What comes to mind? What is the scene? If what you want is true, is real right now, you allow it to come from your cellular memory. It comes from the field expressed through the language of emotion and through the language of inner vision. Okay. You're feeling yourself in the moment, into the moment. And those in the Inner Freedom Academy, you'll hear me reference a lot, hand in glove. You're sliding your hand into a glove. It's the perfect fit. You're wading into the water. Some of you might have heard me saying as well. Instead of running out and bomb diving in, big splash, lots of commotion. If you practiced at that, great, but wade into the water. Yeah. So softly and gently. A great time for this is right before bed, and create a 2 to 5 minutes of loop of that scene, 2 to 5 minutes. So use just one or two senses, touch and sound as an example. So just type in right now, what two senses, which of your five senses, which of those two are the strongest for you? Have you got a really good sense of smell, or you're quite kinesthetic, you love the touchy side of things, or you've got exceptional hearing, or the taste, or the smell, or you can really see, you've got 4K visually. Just type in which two you believe are your strongest senses, your superpowers. Because you want to bring these together, and you want to bring them together in the way that we suggested earlier. So you can hear your friend say something, you can see your hands here, you can feel yourself in the chair. Yes? So keep the scene short and loop it over and over. So if your mind wanders, bring it back with love. That's really important because we're so used to judging ourselves. Just type in a number 8 if you're so used to judging yourself. Very self-critical. Oh, I didn't do that right. Gosh, you're beating yourself up all day long. That didn't work out. That happened. That didn't. I should have done that better, whatever it may be. No judgment. Observe. So when you're in SATs and you're running your loop, if you fall off the path, if you fall out of the boat, if you fall out of the hug or the embrace, if you fall out of being in the home, just put yourself back in and you start back at the beginning, given that you're really just running a very simple loop over and over and over again for 2 to 5 minutes. Because what you want to do is you want to awaken feeling. Remember, imagination is an awakened state because a lot of people on the planet are asleep. Imaginatively, they are asleep. They're not imagining better for themselves. They're imagining what is given to them to imagine. So mastery is choice. Mastery is choice. You have choice, making a decision that is selfing. This is for you. This is rightfully yours. As you rise, as you conduct this scene and you fall asleep, feeling really lovely, relaxed, wonderful, at ease, it sets beautiful ripple effects into the quantum field. And the work of the subconscious is at play while you sleep, while your conscious mind and your body rests. Yes? Does that make sense? Yeah, I love what you've written there. Okay, so we've got the first part. It's short and simple. The second part is SATs, a state akin to sleep. If you're in the middle of a busy intersection, don't try and do it there. Metaphorically, if you're in the middle of a busy intersection of thought, bring yourself down the levels. Put some music on, relax. If you've got kids and you're trying to put them to bed and do this, you're setting yourself up for inverted commas failure. And all you're doing is you're creating self-defeating loops. Set aside some time, whether it's before bed of an evening or during the day when you have some quiet time to yourself. Remember, this is your journey. This is your creative process. You get to own this. You get to own this. Is this cool so far? Everyone on board? Is this making sense? Just type in a number 9 if you're getting value so far. If you're getting value, if there's been some penny drops, some ahas for you. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, let's go to number 3. Feeling it fully. What does that actually mean? Remember, one of the questions is, I don't know how to fully feel it. I don't know if I'm really feeling it. Yeah. Got a 10. Nice one. Thank you. So this trips people up the most. So let me be clear. Feeling it as reality, is not about hyperpassion. I really want you to get this. It's not about coming out of a motivational seminar with Anthony Robbins or anyone else fully puffed up going, yeah, this is fantastic. It's not about that because you will kick yourself out. You'll kick yourself out. The feeling from within is an imaginal act, which is inspirational. Therefore, it is an eternal stream of energy. Motivation is drawn from the outside. It's like someone pushing you, go, come on, let's keep going, finish the marathon, whatever it is. You're motivated to do it. But motivated energy burns off. Inspired, intrinsic, imaginal energy, or through imaginal acts like feeling it fully, it burns bright, it burns white hot within you with practice. Okay. So it's not about making yourself cry or jump up and down. It's about conviction. It's that quiet, calm, inner knowing. This is mine. This is where I brought back to ownership. Remember how we're bringing it all back to circle. Be selfing enough. If you want to use the word selfish, I've got no problem with that. I am plenty selfish, I can tell you. And I have been for quite a while. So be plenty selfish with your own conviction. It's yours. You get to own the state. You get to own the desire. It came to you. You get to own the feeling fully. Is this landing? It's not about other people, even though they may be the beneficiaries consciously or unconsciously, deliberately and intentionally, but it's about you. Give this to you. Think of it like remembering something that already happened. It feels natural, familiar. You might even sigh with relief or smile. That's why one of the practices that I like to do in the morning is I go through the list of everything that is a desire, small and large, whether it's, mowing 2 acres and having someone arrive today to do that, whatever it is, or something else, whatever. And it all goes on there. And I just go through one at a time, fulfilling each one within myself and smiling and that's good. So you're affirming that within the self of what it would be like naturally completed in the outside world. Yes? So the key to really feeling is I'd like you to close your eyes right now. Okay? I can't understand the sigh. Get you into your body. Yeah. I can't understate the sigh. Absolutely, Craig. I can't understand. Sorry. I sigh. Big bright light on my face. The sigh is huge. So think about neurologically, biologically, metaphysically. Neurologically, as your brainwave, as your chemistry receives impulses from your body, your neurochemistry receives impulses from your body, as it relaxes, it now expands, okay? As your body relaxes, your neurology expands and starts to pathway to recessed areas that are normally blocked off or truncated or fused through a neurological network to think and feel fear, stress, anxiety, overwhelm. When you relax the body and you sigh out loud, let these shoulders drop. You're signaling to the brain and your brain signaling back to the body. Hey, this is cool. It's the key that opens the door. And as you open the door with the sigh and the breath out and the relax, you immediately begin moving from beta brainwave state, conscious, alert, attentive, doing mode into alpha. And as you continue that, you start to progressively move from alpha into theta. Now, you don't want to fall off to sleep so much. You don't want to go into theta so much that you fall asleep and you go unconscious, because once it's lights out, you are now no longer in control, in command, the captain of your deliberate, intentional, masterful ship. Yeah. So I'm giving you lots of extra goodies here because this masterclass will shapeshift you enormously. And if you've just joined, absolutely welcome. You will get access to the replay. Okay. But the big key here is feeling is the secret, one of Neville's great books. That's also, we've got that well and truly unpacked and deep dived inside the Academy, which I am going to share with you for 60 seconds very soon. Okay. Because I've got an incredible special for you. And that offer is something that I would love for you to take up. and I'll cover it in a minute. But feeling is the secret. And it's not feeling third person. It's not feeling it as if it was someone else. It's feeling it inside your body. And it's feeling it as consciousness expressed through the body. That's the key. And as you go deeper down the layers of states akin to sleep, deeper down the layers of exploring imaginal acts, and that the premise and truth that imagination creates reality, you become masterful at reality bending, at quantum jumping, quantum leaping, whatever term or phraseology you want to use, masterful. So it becomes a highest truth and the highest expression of your highest self, the highest truth, highest expression of your highest self. That no matter what you want to experience for yourself or for another, it can be done by you, through you, as you. Okay. Whew, let's move on. Okay, everyone cool? Yep, just type in a number one. If that's just soaking in, remember the first thing, absorb this at a being level. Absorb it at a being level. If you're a prolific note taker and you're used to sticking your tongue out and tilting your head and writing notes and getting a hand cramp, let that go just for a minute, okay? So let's get to number four. We're going to solve that last question. Let me just remind you what that last question was. I don't know what I want specifically. Remember that? Who falls into that camp? Type in number two. I don't know what I want specifically because I want a lot. Nice one. I lived in that camp. Yeah, you left that camp. Gone hunting. So, but what if I don't know what I really want? So another big block people hit is confusion. I want so many things. I don't know where to start. Don't know where to start. So here's how to get clarity. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Who do I want to become? Do I want to feel loved, wealthy, free, creative, whatever that means? And then ask what desire would naturally reflect that version of me. Who do I want to become? I want to be more courageous. I want to be more loving. I want to be more known. I want to be more financially abundant. I want to be whatever it is. It's a great question to ask. Who do I want to become? Because it's the current identity asking what it is seeking for. Yeah. The current identity is asking for the upgrade. It acknowledges that it wants the upgrade. I want to be this. So then what desires are then birthed from that? What desire would naturally reflect that version of me? Feel into that and trust what arises in you, because remember, desires change all the time. You know, I want a handful of nuts as the squirrel. No, then I want this, I want twigs and berries, or whatever it's going to be. I know I'm being a bit silly, but we change our minds a lot, but then we judge for changing our mind. But if we stay with the self and we ask, who do I wish to be and how do I want to experience reality, then what desires are sparked from that? Yeah. So you don't need to have your whole life figured out. Just pick the next aligned desire and use it as your doorway. And we've been talking about this in the Academy a lot, most recently. And there's a reason why. And it's frame by frame intending, segment intending, frame by frame referencing, whatever you want to call it. Bring yourself into the present moment. Instead of thinking, what do I need to do tomorrow, tonight, the next day, next week, next month? What are the bills? What are the kids? What are the wife, the husband, the family, whatever it is? Be here and just observe what is the natural next step that you either need to do today, whether it's brush your teeth, get on a call, whatever it is, and tune into that as your next living in the end experience. So now you're segmenting your attention and you're building confidence from one moment to the next throughout the day. Instead of living outside of you, you live here and now. Because this is where it all happens. It doesn't happen out there. And again, I could share 3 days worth of streaming content talking about the outside world is a fabrication. It's a product of you. And empower you to come back to the now and come back to the present moment. The present moment is not devoid of clarity. It's the only place where clarity is accessed. The present moment is not devoid of your desires being fulfilled. It's the only place they are fulfilled, because you can only feel what you are feeling right now relative to what you're giving your attention to. You cannot experience something fully in the body as a realized state by placing it outside of you, meaning ahead of you or in the future, or dependent on another person. It's always here and it's always now. So why go elsewhere? You know? It's not grass is greener. So I hope that landed. I really hope that landed. And this is an example that I would love to give you. Everything that I just shared with you was an exact step-by-step blueprint for my wife, Mandy, and I. We chose to accept an invitation to go to Edinburgh, Scotland. I think it was last weekend. Was it last weekend? The weekend before? I can't remember. I think it was the weekend before. Yeah. The Academy members probably tell me. And that was to an Abraham Hicks event. Now, Mandy, my wife, has been tuned in to Abraham for the best part of a decade. And so I was very, you could say, taken with Neville through personal experiences as a teenager and into my 20s and 30s, which I explain in the Academy. But for me, Abraham Hicks was relatively new, just hearing it from Mandy and all the rest from there. So we decided to accept the invitation when we went. Long story short is I heard people saying, I want to be on stage. I want to be asking a question. I thought, well, how do you get there? Like, do you just raise your hand and it's just pot luck? People say, no. She chooses Abraham, the entity, the collective consciousness, feels the energy. So I thought, we're working better here. I like this. It's not like, oh, you're wearing that, or this person's the loudest, whatever it is. So this is the game that I played. It was a 2-day event in Edinburgh. And I thought, initially, what would be the greatest question to ask in order to vibrationally set off a flare in the quantum field for collective consciousness to observe and potentially pick one of us? That was coming from ego. But before I did that, I was thinking, let's stage this event. Let's stage it. So what I did was, wrong one, jumping ahead right now. What I did was I took a photo of the stage. Okay, can you see that? So we were sitting just off to the side there. Took a photo of the stage. So this is where the participants being selected to speak with Abraham, interact with Abraham, would sit, and this is where Esther Hicks, channeling Abraham, would stand. And here's the audience. About 800 to 900 people, maybe more, maybe 1,000, I'm not sure, were there. So that's number one. So I had a clear picture for the third dimensional mind, for the conscious mind. I could see the image, okay? Number two, I then thought, well, let's just take a little bit further and let's play a little game. And so playing the game, I just thought, well, let's take a little video. You see that, or is it? Where we'd be standing, and that's how I would walk up the stairs to the stage. We're getting the picture? So I've got a visual scene, it's taken through video, I've got a still image, but it's still not enough. So I sat and I felt into the consciousness of being in the chair. Just sat and felt there. So I felt my weight in the chair. I felt the audience behind me. I felt this incredible energy. And I felt the presence of being present with myself and my desire. Day one moves seamlessly. Every hour, there's 3 sessions of 1 hour each with a half-hour break in between. So 3 sessions on Saturday, 3 sessions on Sunday. Normally 2 to 3 people are brought up every session for every hour, depending on the length of conversation and all the rest. So chances are, over the weekend, you're probably looking at around 15 to 18 max people out of 800, 900,000, whatever it may be. So by sitting in the chair, I'm not playing odds now. I'm not playing what are my chances. I'm feeling myself in the chair. I'm feeling myself into that reality. I'm giving that gift to myself. I moved when I sat in the chair in my imagination. I can feel the squeak. I can feel the leather. I can feel the elevation of the armrests. I can feel the nerves. I've been on stages and presenting to thousands of people, and I could feel my own nerves. I thought, this feels good. I could feel my nerves, which places me there. It places me in a space-time coordinate that isn't where my body was imagining it. It was where I was imagining my body to be, activating. Okay. So then comes Sunday, and I could feel overnight that there was starting to be a connection, and I was connecting more to the seat. I wasn't attached. Okay. I'm not attached to the chair. Another big thing, I do not need to be in the chair to be validated. I do not need to be picked in order to be reassured that I'm a good person, that I'm special. To fill a void within myself, I tuned in and a question came. And the question related to desire and destiny. And I'll have that recording shortly, probably in the next week or so. And I would like to share that with you. But all that I did was sit there, and my hand did not rise every time, but halfway through Sunday, my arm automatically raised. Automatically raised. And I went, oh, bit of a shock. I was under compulsion, which is an entirely new conversation for next week's masterclass. And guess what scene that I did? I was walking up the stairs and across the stage and sitting in the chair, and the microphone boom was put in front of my face, to the point where this was the scene. So can you see that? Yes. So big heads on big screens. I couldn't see it. All I could feel was confirmation at another level. It was like, this feels familiar. This feels familiar. My experience in that chair with collective consciousness known as Abraham is another conversation. But I move on this to share with you how powerful segmenting your desires is. Instead of running a huge on-ramp, I've got to be working at this for a whole year. I'm now bound by time. I'm now bound by the limitations of my beliefs. I'm also now bound to my concept of myself. Yes? So it's all now. It is all now. So what I'd love to do is I would love to invite those of you who are not yet in the academy, and I say yet, I'd love you to come and join us in the academy. And that is the Inner Freedom Academy. For the sole reason, yes, S-O-L-E and S-O-U-L, for the sole reason that you will be in amongst incredible people. There's Janine, there's Will, there's Dina, there's Andy, there's a couple of others. The conversations are off the charts amazing. The real-time, in-time experiments that each of the members are running gives you great feedback, just like I just shared then, because we can talk about it all day long, or we can start to put it into practice and move the needle on our life. Now, you'll see here that, and if you've been a part of the Frequency for Success free community for a while, you'll know that over the last month or so, the invitation has been going up by $100 every week. So that's for an annual membership, absolute annual. I want to do something incredible. This is going to be $5,000. It's going to be $4,999 for the year. I promise you, it is. That's the value of it, because it is like personal access to me. It's personal coaching and mentor at a level that potentially you've never had before. And if Dina, Andy, Janine, or Will would like to be any testament of that, feel free to type anything in. It's definitely a personalized journey. But the benefit, the real benefit, is that you get real interaction with real people doing the work, not just talking, not out there lone wolfing it, trying to do it on your own. Okay. So we've got people in the Southern Hemisphere, the Northern Hemisphere. There's multiple calls each week, and more will be added. You'll see here that the Awaken God mode, which is really what we're doing, we're awakening our God self. We're awakening our full potential and realized power. you can see that there is step-by-step guidance all the way through. It is a single step-by-step pathway, short, simple exercises, lots of great meditations, lots of great replays. If you can't make one of the calls, you've got replays of each call, and each call is rich in its nature because of the shares, because as you move consciousness, you move from one state to another, you are naturally evolving through the lens of your attention. Okay. So if you want bomb drops, you will watch these. Don't be overwhelmed. Take one at a time. Come to the live calls. That's the number one thing. At the moment, we have calls Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, and Monday and Thursday afternoons rather, and Tuesday mornings. That's my local time, London time. So if you're Eastern, if you're down in the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, whatever it may be from there, more will be opened to thee. Okay. So let's the real clincher here is I want to make it very clear that the 4,999, the $5,000, this is going to be at this price of 999. Okay, it's 80% off. It's going to be at this price until end of June. But for you guys, I want to wind back the clock. And I want to give you full access to me, the community, all the modules, and the energy and the consciousness of the Academy for $499. So that was going back to the special offer a couple of weeks back. $499 US gives you full access for the full year. If you want to do a 3-pay, you can do 3-pay option of $199, $199 US per month for 3 months. That is a little bit more, but it gives you some breathing space to allow the magic to continue and to expand as your consciousness and your finances expand. That gives you the year as well. So 1-pay, $499, 3-pay, $199 per month for 3 months. This I'm going to hold open. If you DM me through school, all you need to do is go up here, okay? You just go straight into this area here and you just click and then you search my name, okay, which I won't be able to find myself, but you can search my name and DM me. I'm in, and I'll send you the link for the upfront $499 or the 3-pay of $199. Yeah, it's open for 3 days, which means now for 3 days is a 72-hour window. It's not going to be available. After the next masterclass, be doing it again for 3 days, and then it resumes to the normal price of $999. Is that clear? Because I don't want to jump around with all the prices and all the rest from there. If you have questions, please DM me. Thank you, Dina. Yeah, this group, and especially Matthew. Oh, thank you. Next level amazing. It has completely changed my life. And you've only been a member since January. You've been a member all your life. You just didn't know it. Okay. How do you find the place to DM? Okay, you find the place by going to school. Let me just go back here again. And inside the school, so if you guys are in the frequency for success, you'll go up here to the top right. You'll see a little voice bubble or a note bubble, message bubble. Click on that. And then in the search bar, you're going to type Matthew Patty. Okay, if you are not a member, if you're watching this masterclass and you're not a member of Frequency for Success, then the person that invited you, let them know and they'll send you the link. Or even better still, I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to drop it in here. Okay. All right. So has this been helpful for you? Has it been helpful? Because I'd love it to be, intended to be. And here's the Inner Freedom Academy link for those that would like that as well. Okay, so you can read up about it. You can watch some of the videos that are on the About page and hear what the members have said about it as well. So just to be clear, $499 one time, that equals the annual payment. Or you can do a 3-pay of 199 per month for 3 months. Both, if you send me a DM, I'm in, and I'll send you the details. Okay. So I would love you to type in what shifted for you over the last 50, 60 minutes or so? What shifted for you? What aha have you had? So did you hear something for the first time? Did you have something resolved that you've been thinking about, pushing up against, not finding a solution for, not having to create an entire movie? Nice one, James. The desire is felt through, not through thought. It's inspired. Very cool. Very cool. Feel into the subconscious of it. Subconsciousness. Yeah. The consciousness of it. Pardon me, Jody. Importance of focus in the now of your end scene. Yeah. So this is where power really comes back to you. Now. There is only now. And you could speak to Eckhart, you could speak to Joe, you could speak to whomever. The power of now, the present moment, the generous present moment, the sages, the rishis, the mystics, they've all been saying it because they pierce the veil of the illusion. And piercing the veil of the illusion first starts with accepting your imagination creates reality. Accepting that if your imagination creates reality, then what in heaven's name am I doing placing my attention out there when all my desires are birthed and fulfilled right here within me first? Yeah. Creating a scene was very helpful. Looking forward to repeating that in replay. Nice one. Very cool, Maria. Be selfish. Yes, Craig. This desire came to you. Make the space to receive mental, emotional, physical. Open up. Love it. SATS. It's a good one, Dina. Really resonated when you were explaining. Exploring the feeling is akin to relief, reliving a past experience that we love to revisit for the end of feeling it again. Nice. These are great. Really cool. Feeling some conflict because the gap for me between the emptiness, desire, or desirelessness of awareness and the ego self. Yeah, that's a huge one. That's a huge one. And we do dive into that conflict in the academy. We don't have time to discuss it right now, but there is conflict because there is so much being taught. You think about Zen Buddhism, you think about any shelf-made religions or whatever it may be, to desire brings suffering. It's the attachment to desire that brings suffering, not the desire itself. To be desireless is impossible while you inhabit a physical body. To be desireless, it's how you react to the desire that breeds attachment, which then brings suffering, if that makes sense. Yeah. So have whatever you want. It's a buffet, it's a smorgasbord, whatever it is, you know? All right. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you in the academy. Please take that opportunity. If you've had any inkling of yes, any inkling that this is for me and I want to live and breathe this stuff every single day, every week with people who get it, who get you, who feel like family, soul family, don't need to be Lone Ranger, lone wolf, isolated, trying to do it yourself. Dive in, DM me, I'm in. Okay. Big love. I'll see you in the field.